Hi, this is Josh, Tamar, Tristan, and Megan, and this is our Business 176 survey analysis project. Kumar's research process. So how we did our project, we basically used Kumar's research process. In phase one, we decided what to research. So for this phase, we intend to research what students attending TWU think are true and regarding attributes of the institution, area study, intentions, athletics, and gladness. Phase two, planning a research study. So for this, we use surveys as our instrument to conduct research. And our research sample was limited to Trinity Western students. And for phase three, conducting a research study. We collected raw data using the surveys. We also used a quantitative analysis of the data statistics. So as you can see on the left, for the gender of population studied, 50% were males, 2% were other, and 48% were females. For participants of the major studied, 30% of participants were in the sciences, and it was also almost even for males and females.
Using the survey section, I came to Trinity Western to participate in athletics. I was able to compare and analyze it in 4 different areas: all surveyors, gender, area of study, and type of degree. To start, I analyzed athletic intentions to all surveyors. As shown in the graph, the largest portion at 31% is strongly disagree, and the second largest at 23% disagree, which states that over 50% did not come for athletics. Athletic intentions for gender. Gender is the second area I analyzed. And as we see, more males than females and other specified came for athletics. This graph shows just male and female. It explains that there is a large discrepancy between coming and not coming for athletics, and they are both leading sections in both male and female. Athletic intentions and area of study. Most students in humanities, was a large portion, did not come for athletics, and most athletes are in sciences and professional area of study. Bachelor of Arts has the most students who did not come for Trinity Western for athletics. And to conclude, the percent of students that came for athletics was 32%. The percent of students that did not was 62%, and the percent undecided was 6%. The percentage of males that came for athletics were 40%, and the percentage of males that did not were 52%. And for females that came for athletics, it was 23%, and the ones that did not was 72%.
Okay, so for the GLAD analysis, we were trying to find data to support the question, do TW students think that it's true/important that they are glad they chose to study here? I was curious to see if, as more credits were earned, were students more glad to attend TWU? And as this graph shows, that wasn't necessarily the case, with a lot of differing statistics from male to female and other genders. High number of zeros showed that most people's true score matched their importance score, which is a positive statistic. Females had a slightly more negative gap score than males, but overall they both hovered just below 0. We can use the gap score data to distribute percentages to the following groups. In total, 22% of respondents thought that it was more important than true. 51% thought that it was equally as important as true, meaning that their score was 0, and 27% thought it was more true than important. So this means that 78% of respondents we can defer from the analysis that are satisfied with their experience at TWU regarding gladness. So this is a very positive statistic. Yeah, that shows that most students at TWU are happy at the school.
Okay, so for my analysis, I focused on the intent, or what students prefer. So by using the statement, at this point, I actually prefer to, we were able to identify when students were preferring to finish their education here at Trinity by using the following coded responses, as you can see on the screen. From this frequency chart, we are able to identify that more people were preferring to stay at Trinity for as long as they had originally planned. Out of the total number of those surveyed that were valid, 188 people were preferring to stay for the length and time that they had planned on. So as we look at the percentages of the surveyed responses, we see the same data, but instead from the percentage side. So 46% of the valid survey results show people were planning to stay at TW as they had originally planned. Here we have the intentions analysis. So here is a count of the gender preferability. So as you can see, more males actually preferred to stay as long as they had originally planned. And out of all of those responses, they were pretty even, except for number 4 and number 5, with 5 the response being that more females are planning to stay somewhat longer than they had planned. And here we see that data in the percentages. So as you can see, more females, males, and other were preferring to stay as long as they had originally planned. And from this chart, we can identify the average number of credits people have per response. For example, those in the upper level classes, so 180 to 200 credits, were preferring to leave a bit sooner than they had planned. So as we look at the preferred responses versus the actual intended responses, we see that 46% of people were actually preferring to stay exactly as they had originally planned. And then while we look at the intent side and what they're actually carrying out and wanting to do, it goes up. So 52% are intending to stay exactly as originally planned. So this graph shows the differences in the percentages of students preferring and actually intending to carry out their preferred time of staying at TWU. So as we can see, more people are intending to stay exactly as they had originally planned, and less people are preferring to, so that could be a result of many different factors, such as family wanting them to stay longer while they don't want to, or a change in degree that makes them have to stay longer. So next we looked at the area of study analysis. So by asking the surveyors what area of study they're in, we were able to analyze through gender, percentage of male, female, and other counts of credits and the total number of students in each area of study. So we looked at the areas of study of humanities, sciences, professional studies, performing arts, and other. So from this graph, we see the totals for all genders, including males, females, and other. The professional studies, more males are in professional studies than females, and in humanities, for example, more females are in that area than males. And from this chart, we can see that more males are enrolled in humanities and sciences area of study, and only 2% of males are actually registered into performing arts. And so this graph explains the amount of credits earned in each area of study. So as we can see from this graph, most people that have 75 to 99 credits are enrolled in scientific studies, for example.
Okay, so the last part of our survey analysis was to do the attributes analysis. And the first step was to extract the attribute labels and scores out of the raw data survey. After this, we created gap scores between the true and important questions. And then we analyzed each attribute compared to gender and maximum credits earned. We did this comparatively across all 5 attributes. For the good-natured question, the question we asked here was, is it true/important that TWU is a good-natured organization? The results showed that the average score was right around 0, with males having a slightly higher score at 0.07. Both genders' gap scores tended to decrease over the amount of credits earned. The next attribute that we analyzed was, is it true/important that this is a trustworthy organization? The gap scores were very similar in comparison, but as you can see with the credits earned, the analysis was very different between males and females. So with the lesser amount of credits earned, females tended to think that TW was more trustworthy, and over time, as they had earned more credits and spent more time at TWU, as you can see, the gap score decreased quite substantially, and the opposite is true for males. It started rather low, and as more credits were earned, it shows that the gap score increases and almost reaches 0.
For sincere credits and gap scores graph, the average gap scores just hovered around -0.2 for female and male, and others was around -0.5. For warmth, credits and gap scores graph, as you see around 125 to 149 credits earned, there was a large dip in female and a increase in male. For well-intentions, credits and gap scores, the female was -0.2, while the male was -0.02, and other was 1.14.
In conclusion, following Kumar's principles and phases, we were able to conduct an effective research project. With the collected data, we were able to analyze several aspects of the TWU student body. And finally, using gap score, we were able to determine the accuracy and legitimacy of our analysis. Thank you
Thank you.
for watching our presentation.